After we saw the first showdown event, we now return to the A-League for the first team event and second event of the Rolling Legends Invitational Season 1, that is balancing. Hello everyone, I'm Mark, and this is a very known event in the mobile world where each team descends into a balance beam, and the objective to all these teams is to get all the 4 marbles down as far as possible, and the final results will be a sum of where each marble ended. And in the overall standings after the first event, obviously after a brilliant victory, Ivory Impact is leading the standings, followed by the Starship Speedsters and the Coastal Crushers, that is 10 points behind the leaders. But let's see what every single team can do in this event. We see now the test run by the Fabled Flyers. We can see the teams can change the lineups between to maybe try to get a better strategy in the event, but let's see how the teams is going to have their different strategies. Let's see how it's going to be this sort of dynamic between all the teams. And we see here that the conditions here is not very good today, so I don't think we'll be able to see any marbles getting down to the end, where it's going to be a 150 points for the finisher. But let's see, 246 was the result for the prismatic primrose. Let's start with the prismatic. Oh, sorry, the prismatic primrose will start now. They did really bad in the last event after a very controversial pick, and this is not looking much better. After the test run by the Fabled Flyers that got 246, this is going to be almost 100 points behind 164. That is not good for the Prismatic Primroses. Not a great start for them. I don't think they will be able, compared to the test run, I don't think we'll be able to see them on the podium today. Let's now go to the Sedation Choir. Also did pretty bad in the first event. Let's see. Oh, this is looking a bit better, with 3 marbles dropping kind of quickly, but the last marble, the Ankar, got a pretty good distance. That is porpoise of the team, and 204, this is going to be the lead, and definitely a pretty good margin between them and the Prismatic Primroses. Now the Glowstones, 14th in the first event, they decided to use the reserve here, the Wild Might, instead of their member Chloroflame. And oh, this apparently didn't work out. They touched, the back marble touched the third marble, and then the first marble got a little bit out of source, and they completely fell apart, and 164 also is not great. They dropped to last. Vermilion Velvet's also another team that decided to use Cheesecake, the reserve, instead of a main member, and oh, I don't think this is going to be a first place, but last I don't think is going to be, because the last 2 marbles dropped a little bit later, and yeah, 164 still, that is a tie for I think second place, but they lose the tiebreaker because of how far the last marble dropped it. Now the Lunar Outriders, they finished 12 in the first event. They decided to not use the captain here and subbed out Celine to compete, and this is looking okay. This is not looking terrible. I mean, we still have to see a marble pass the 75 like the test run, but let's see. Yeah, 50 was the maximum, but they were so consistent that 180 was good enough to put them in the second place so far. Wise Watchers, they decided to use the Captain Owl in the back. Let's see how this is going to work out for them. And this is looking pretty good. Oh, the last marble. I think the third member, that is, let me see, I think that is, Strixie, the reserve. Yeah, Strixie, the reserve. They got a 75 and 217. That is good enough to put them in the lead, instead of the Sedation Choir. This is looking good for the Wise Watchers. We still yet to see a marble pass this distance, but let's see the Swifty Swans, what they can do. 10th in the first event. This event is not looking really bad, I think. Not going to compare. I think that is a very similar run to the Glowstones. The drop was very synchronized, but a little bit better. And 198, yeah, P3 for now. Okay, result so far for the Swifty Swans. Now the Sea Dragons, a very disappointing result in the last event, because they won the qualifiers, but they only finished 9th in the main league. And this result, I think, is going to be a challenge for the Wise Watchers. I don't think the marble passed the 70, but all the marbles were so consistent. Yeah, 66 the maximum marble they dropped, but 230 is going to take the lead for the Wise Watchers in the half halfway mark. Yeah, Sea Dragons is leading, followed by the Wise Watchers and the Cetacean Choir. The Glowstones 155. That is terrible for the team, already very down in the order. Cottontail Coalition is going to start the second half of the runs. They decided to use the default run with all the main members, and oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good compared to the Sea Dragons and a little bit of consistent runs that we were seeing in the last few runs. 171, this is going to be P5. Okay, middle of the pack so far, but compare, I think is not going to be very high today. I don't think it will be able to stay in the top half, but let's see. Dash Juggernauts, they had a pretty good result in the first event. Let's see what they can do here. Brass, the reserve, and oh, this is not looking good. Brass touched the back of Percussion, and all the other three members were completely out of control and dropped so quickly that 149 is going to be dead last for the Jazz Juggernauts. That is not good. They beat out the run of the Glowstones, and the Glowstones are now in a contention for some podiums, some points today. Sorry, the Glaciators now, and oh, they also used the reserve Chiller, also a member that competed at the last event. But apparently also didn't work out for them really well. But it's looking like a middle result, and yeah, P6 for now. 177 is middle of the pack for the Glaciators so far. Let's see if they will be able to stay in the top half. Now, Pollen Protectors, they put the captain in the third member here, and the captain is looking really good here. The captain got the farthest of the compared to the rest of the members, but the strategy here was not very good. I don't think the team played out a pretty well result. Oh, wait a second, commentary cursed. 192, that is P5. Okay, result for the Pollen Protectors after finishing 5th in the first event. They are trying to get another solid result here today. Shimmering Sunburst, they just missed out the podium in the last event, and oh, this is not looking good. After just missing out the podium last time, I was maybe saying maybe they will be able to try to get a podium today, but it's not going to happen definitely. B11 with the 160 points, that is not good for the Shimmering Sunburst. They are going to only finish in 11th at the least. Coastal Crush is now entering the podium of the last event. He'll be able to get a podium today. Oh, maybe. This is looking like actually a very inconsistent result for them. Very inconsistent run. 2 marbles dropped very quickly, but the other 2 maybe carried the run. Yeah, 50 and 53, 174, and just barely. They were so lucky that it's just going to be good enough for a P8 in the top half. The last team in the top half for now. Starship Speedsters, they finished 2nd in the last event, but this event is going to be a bad result for them. After getting 2nd in the last event, like I said before, but Nova putting to the back and the reserve Astro in the front is not working out for them. And 156, that is P13. That is terrible for the team. Ivory Impact is going to be the last team. This is a chance for the Ivory Impact to grow the lead. Let's see if they'll be able to do that. And it's not going to happen, I think. I think Ivory Impact, 2 marbles dropped kind of quickly. Yeah, I think they don't pass the 41, I think, these first 2 marbles. Yeah, 34 and 39, but it's still that is P9. That is some points for the team, but 172 is not going to be enough to beat out the Sea Dragons that is going to win this event with a 230, despite no runs passing any marbles past the 80 distance. We still see 230 for the Sea Dragons to win this event. And congrats also to the Wise Watchers and Cetacean Choir to get 2 consistent totals to stay out in the podium. And this is the podium. Congrats to all these teams. Wonderful results for them, despite not seeing some really good runs. But still, in the overall standings, that is a tie for the lead between the Ivory Impact and the Sea Dragons that jumped 8 spots to 1st. Wise Watchers also jumping 8 spots to 3rd. And Cetacean Choir jumping 6 spots to 9th. The standings are really close. Some teams like Jazz Juggernauts dropping 6 spots, same to the Shimmering Sunburst. That is crazy, but we will see you back everyone to the next event that is going to be distance track. Goodbye everyone.